Two game sixes in the NBA playoffs on this Friday night. Two opportunities, of course, then to close out a series. For one team on the road in Orlando, that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. For the others back at home, the Dallas Mavericks against the LA Clippers, who will be shorthanded once again. No Kawhi Leonard. He has been ruled out for game number 6 for Los Angeles. And we start with the nightcap in the game of which in this series, Donnie Rightside has seen more minutes of. That's the Clippers and the Mavericks. Dallas up with a 3-2 series lead and an 8-point home favorite tonight in game number 6. Looking to win outright. Minus 330 for Dallas to clinch this series. 208 and a hook is the over-under. So obviously, Donnie, the odds makers expect the Dallas Mavericks to cover, or at least to clinch this series tonight with an outright victory against the LA Clippers. Can Dallas cover that 8-point spread?
I think they do. I really think they do. I think that series certainly was won in the previous game. You saw the Dallas Mavericks, a little bit of toughness here because you saw the Clippers have one of those big-time games again. Unless we're looking at the Clippers going back to Dallas and getting a 20 or 30-point lead in the first half, they're not going to win this basketball game. And you see everything you need to know. We talked about it yesterday with the Pacers. You saw that strong line at 8 to 8.5. Drops a little bit with Lillard. I didn't think it mattered at all. I thought the Pacers would win that game. This was the one they had to clinch. They didn't want to go to Game 7 where maybe Giannis and Dame would be back. They handled their business with relative ease and got some great performances out of their bench guys. I look for the same thing here for the Dallas Mavericks, but also if I think they win by double digits, that means the big boys had some big games here. You saw a great plus-minus in Kyrie Irving last game without the points production. But the one thing that we know, it's almost like you can just print it tonight. If we're talking about a good offensive performance for the Dallas Mavericks in a victory, which I think we get, Luka Doncic, 33.5. You know he's going to be part of that equation. We even talked about a game last time on the road, knee injury, where it's like, hey, my knee is a little bit bulky and I'm under the weather and I'm still going to go out and dominate. I expect a monster performance out of Luka Doncic tonight. And even if you look at that line and figure it's too heavy, it's there for a reason. Dallas is going to win this game and win it going away by double digits for me.
Before game number 5, Dallas to win this series in 6, with the Mavericks a 3-point road favorite in LA. And, of course, we expected Dallas to be a favorite even with Kawhi Leonard back into the fold in game number 6. It was plus 120 in the series correct score market. So I'm feeling good now that the Mavericks are a minus 330 moneyline favorite to win this series outright. But I agree with Donnie. I think Dallas rolls tonight. Again, if you are an underdog and you are shorthanded, what is the great equalizer? Shooting well from 3. The Clips in game number 4 on Sunday were 62% from deep. The Clips from game number 5 back at home in LA, less than 30%. I'm not sure they get that production offensively tonight. Paul George was the leading scorer. He had 15 points. Ivica Zubac also had 15 points. That was it. James Harden had 7. Russell Westbrook, non-existent in that matchup as well. I don't know if LA finds its way to 100 points tonight. In fact, the Clippers, in their 3 losses this series, never more than 93 points. Donnie, the first 3 games of this set went well under. The first game total was 221 and a hook for game number 1. Here we are at game number 6, where the total from the opening game of this series, now to the 6th game of the series, has dropped by 13 points. And I agree with the movement. I actually think we stay under 208.5 tonight as Dallas closes out this series against LA. Luka Doncic, 33.5 is his points prop, 25 and a hook for Kyrie Irving.
And also, if we're looking from a betting perspective, you say, okay, the Mavericks are supposed to win. We get that. Donnie said they think they win by double digits. What's an angle that you would play for the Clippers? Well, I just told you, I don't think the Clippers are going to win this basketball game nor cover that spread. But you know what I know is not going to happen? That you're going to be down 15 points at the break. We're talking about the road team here, the Clippers, and have them come back and either win or cover that spread. If you want the Clippers tonight, you better take them in the first half. They played well the last time they were in Dallas. I don't know if they're going to do the same, but if there's any betting side that you say, Donnie, give me a reason to believe in the Clippers, they better be up at the break for a legitimate chance to win that game. If they're not, we just might be looking at James Harden's checked out again, 11.7 turnovers, doesn't do anything, and Paul George's like, hey, you know what? I'll be a free agent. I'm out of here anyway. I just don't want to get injured in this game. This has all the makings of a blowout, but if you do want to bet, the only way to bet the Clippers would be the first half for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Clippers in the first quarter, it's plus 2.5. It's a 2.5-point spread for those opening 12 minutes. The only thing I would say is that Dallas, without or in a game in Game 4 where LA did not have Kawhi Leonard, trailed by a lot at the end of the opening quarter. We're down by 31 midway through the second. I think it will be reinforced tonight for the Mavericks not to get off to that slow start. They did rally all the way back to take a lead with just over 2 minutes left in regulation in that fourth game of the series before LA ultimately held on to win. I think Dallas comes out a little bit hotter from the opening jump tonight. First game of this doubleheader on a Friday in Orlando. The Magic now a 4-point home favorite, total at 200 and a hook. In all 5 games in this series, the home team has won. It's what the odds makers are expecting. Can Orlando win in game number 6 tonight, keep its series and this season alive for the Magic to force a game 7?
Yeah, I don't want to tip my hand what my best bet is going to be, but I let the people know a few days ago that I looked at this line and said, even though, look, I want and need the Cavaliers to win that basketball game tonight. I just don't think they're going to do that. They haven't shown me anything on the road. And also, as a handicap towards this game, which I do think Orlando at -4 is the right play here, and still the under 200.5 does make some sense to me as well. But you're looking at the little signs of life, right? You went on the road as the Orlando Magic and you almost beat the Cavaliers. That's something that a road team hasn't really shown up. So I think that momentum, even though they lost, carries back to Orlando tonight and they handle their business. I would be very happy if Orlando doesn't handle their business tonight, but quite frankly, you got to remove the situation of rooting interest and say what makes the most sense in the moment. And to me, in the moment, it's the Magic.
We'll continue to preview this game on the other side, but the Magic handled business in Game 3, winning by 38, and again in Game 4, outscoring the Cavs by more than 30 in the second half to win by 23. That's an average margin of victory in Orlando for the Magic of 30.5 points per game. A best bet comes your way up next to DRS. We go back to the game tonight in Orlando. Completely agree with what you're saying about the Magic, who were fantastic in Games 3 and 4 at home. An average margin of victory of 30.5. Thus, you would expect, if they carry that over, 4 points is nothing. But if I follow your train of thought, I have one more bet in this game. It's the Cavaliers under their team total of 98.5. Even when Cleveland won Game 1 and 2 back at home, they did so with, at most, 97 points. In Game 5, when Cleveland scored 100, it was the first time they reached the century mark in this series. They did not break 90 in Games 3 or 4 back in Florida. I think Cleveland stays under 98.5 tonight.
And by the way, taking a look at some correlations here, if you think the Magic are going to win this game, which they favored are, don't you figure that Banchero is going to have a big game for that to happen? Yeah. And he can still have a big game even if they don't win. But take a look at the last 3 games. 29 minutes, 31 points, 13 of 26 from the floor. Follows that up with 29 minutes, 9 points, and 4 of 14. Follows that up with 38 minutes, 39 points, and 14 of 24. So if we're going to guarantee that we're getting 20 shots out of Paolo Banchero tonight, which is about the average for that, look at his points prop, 24.5. Looking at look, I know it can happen, right? He can have 15 points. They can win the basketball game. But it just feels right that if they play well, so does he. So it would be a -4 with a parlay with Banchero over 24.5, which I do think makes some sense. Again, rooting for Cleveland, but I don't think they win tonight. I think that number is telling you this is going to be an Orlando game and also that we're headed for a Game 7. And I think Banchero also has a big performance as well. Not the most exciting game or the exciting series, but it looks like this series we're actually going to get 7 out of.
So if you think we get 7 and every team is won on their home floor, right now I would recommend this. Cleveland to win the series in 7 and the series correct score market at plus 130. The Cavaliers will not be an underdog more than likely in Game 7 on Sunday back in the land.